How did he give me HIV? Part 12. So it was in that phone conversation that I realized this was way deeper than I probably could have ever imagined. I threw up. I remember it so vividly. I remember that phone conversation. I I, I threw up because just a thought, just a thought, it just made me throw up. And so, you know, yeah, so that's what made me go on this news interview. When I got on the phone with her, she's like, "Okay, we're going to record everything. We're going to air it on TV." Um, this is this is when I learned the magnitude and the extent of the damage that he has caused. So I do the news interview. She's asking me questions. I'm answering the questions, and then as she ends the interview, she asks me, "What do I want other people to do?" Why not simply just say, "Listen, I need people to go and get tested." And I believe I have it pinned to my page. The actual news interview is pinned at the top of my page. I literally said, I need people, if they know they've slept with him, to please go and get checked. You know, and that's when all hell broke loose. This is why I told you to keep your seatbelts on through these parts in this story, okay? Because now my phone is blowing up. My phone is blowing up. I ain't never got that many phone calls like that. My friends that I had made while I was in South Carolina are calling my phone. "Girl, what's going on? What done happened? What in the world?" Because, no, of course, they seeing his face on the news. They're seeing me talking about it. And they like, "Girl, these people up here at this manufacturing company going wild. They yelling and arguing and crying." Now, I don't know how much you guys know about manufacturing companies, but this one is so big that if someone gets injured on the facility while they're working, they don't call outside medics to come and do anything. They have an actual hospital and medic emergency center on the actual campus. And so that you can go there to see a doctor, you can go there to get prescriptions, you can go there like it was a full out everything. So people were there in line at the medic getting tested for HIV. People were shocked to see other people in line. "Girl, what you doing in line?" "I don't know what you doing in line." Men and women in line to get tested. Now, not necessarily the men getting in line to get tested because they slept with him. But if you guys know anything about the domino effect of things, if I sleep with someone, say that person is cheating on me and they're sleeping with someone. What if that person has a boyfriend or girlfriend that they're sleeping with? So it's like a domino effect of things where, one thing can lead to this. And so people were going to get tested once they found out maybe the person they slept with had not slept with him. That type of thing. Hundreds of people, okay? And I'm getting this as my friend is calling me on the phone. She's like, "Girl, I'm looking at the line right now, and this is crazy." And then she said, somebody passed out. So they have a break room area where they have a TV on. So this job has 3 shifts. You got first, second, and third shift. So as third shift is getting off in the morning, first shift is coming on. There's, they pass each other in the break rooms, going in and out to work. So his face pops up on the news. And people are just standing there staring at the TV in complete shock. "Don't he work here? Don't he work in such and such shop? What?" Like, people are shocked. And then my friend told me, she was like, "Girl, somebody passed out." The woman passed out because she knew that she had slept with him. Okay? She had slept with him. And it's crazy because when my friend told me this woman's name, I remember her name, and I remember meeting her because at one point, like before we got married in that summertime, they had like a family and friends day at Carowinds theme park in Charlotte. So I remember her from when we went to that park and I was introduced to different coworkers. Now, granted, at the time this happened and his face is on the news, she had been done with him. They were not actively doing anything or in any type of relationship, anything like that. But she had a previous history with him because at one point she was his supervisor when he first started working there. So she passed out. It was just a mess. And when I talked to the sheriff's office, they told me that they were getting hundreds of phone calls from people, wanting to file charges, but they didn't know what to do. Because at this point, because he got arrested for me filing charges, people realized, okay, but people were afraid. People were terribly afraid because my face and my name was made public. But it wasn't made public because the police made it public or because of anything. It was really made public because I took that choice to say, listen, I need people to know that if they have slept with this man, they need to know, to go get checked. I did not want anyone to find out years later that they were HIV positive when it has hidden AIDS status. Like, that was how I've always been from the very beginning. I've always worried about everybody else throughout this situation other than myself. And so they're telling me all these people are calling, but when we tell them they got to do X, Y, and Z, they just either don't come in or we don't hear back from them. So a lot of people were calling because they felt that they had been criminalized by him. But nobody did anything. And then I got a phone call where they told me that there was a case where they had someone who had filed a report against him. They didn't tell me when, and I'm going to tell you guys later on how I found out the details of that situation. But someone had, went through the process of filing, but nothing else was ever done to that case. So that case was just sitting there. But because my case was moving so fast, they went ahead and just went through the process of my case. Now, because I had the recorded confession, because they did their investigations, now, anytime someone becomes diagnosed with an STD, not only is it made known to the health department, they also keep a database. This is true. I know people say, oh, do they really have a database with people with all STDs? Absolutely. There's a classified database that when you contract an STD, it is notated when you were told and when they told you. They notate that, okay, this person was informed on X amount, whatever date. So that nobody can say they weren't notified. They notated that this person was notified on this date and what the STD is. And so they knew that he had been notified. And again, like I said, from my understanding, it was August in 2002. Later on, we're going to find out that there's a different date and year. Okay, so yeah, they go through all of that, and initially he said not guilty. His thing was, well, how do I know she ain't give it to me? How I know this? Like, she just mad because she found out about this, about marrying the baby. Like, that was his whole thing of telling his mom and other people around. If you listen to the pen link, the pen video of the best friend, you'll see. Even the best man in the wedding said, his mom and them told me that, oh, she was mad because she found out about X, Y, and Z. That's what he was telling people. Why I had him put in jail. Not telling the truth of, like, dude, you gave your wife HIV. Like, that wasn't what he was doing. And so he initially pled not guilty. However, because they had all this information, including that recorded video of him admitting that he knew he had it, and him saying he didn't tell me because he didn't want me to leave him. Like, that was his reasoning. His reasoning for not telling me was he didn't want me to leave him. Okay, yeah. And so eventually he ended up pleading guilty. And now here we are at his sentencing hearing.